$300 million federal dollars locks in a Friant-Kern groundbreaking date, and Kern's planners get to pick their poison. You're listening to The Sigma Weekly, your 10-minute briefing on everything happening in California groundwater, brought to you by WaterOne.ai. I'm your AI host. Let's get into it. Top of the week. Following up on prior federal Friant-Kern Canal funding coverage, this one finally has a groundbreaking date attached. Friant Water Authority confirmed the Department of the Interior's $200 million award from the One Big Beautiful Bill is now headed to the Middle Reach Capacity Correction Project. That's the long-running effort to undo the subsidence-induced bottleneck on the Friant-Kern Canal, the canal that delivers Central Valley Project water to roughly 1 million acres of farmland on the east side of the southern San Joaquin Valley. Phase 2A, that's roughly 2.7 miles of brand-new parallel canal, is targeting a July through August bid window, with construction starting in October. The formal groundbreaking is set for the week of August 17th. Alongside the bid, the authority is working through right-of-way acquisition on roughly 190 acres across 23 parcels, and lining up a letter of intent with the city of Porterville to use a stormwater basin as a borrow site for fill material. After years of the federal dollars existing on paper, this is the week the calendar dates start showing up. If you're a Friant contractor, this fall isn't theoretical anymore. Next up, 5 districts updated their long-range water outlook this week, 4 of them adopting 2025 urban water management plans, plus a Mound Basin Sigma Plan periodic evaluation. And the picture looks completely different depending on where you're standing. Start at the coast, where things came in flush. Carpinteria GSA authorized a roughly $840,000 sale of up to 2,100 acre-feet of surplus state water project water at $400 per acre-foot, with Cachuma sitting around 94%. Amador Water Agency projects a 10 to 12,000 acre-foot surplus, even in a single dry year, though they flagged that roughly 28% of their raw water canal supply is being lost to canal losses, which is its own problem. And Mound Basin reported pumping projections running 25 to 70% below their original Sigma plan, as Ventura Water Pure comes online. Now move down to the valley, and the picture sharpens. South San Joaquin Irrigation District projects up to 26% dry year shortfalls and is pushing Manteca, Lathrop, Tracy, and Escalon to accelerate Phase 2 treatment from 2040 all the way up to 2032. And San Benito County Water District sees only a slight deficit by 2045. But here's the nuance. It's driven by water quality targets, not by supply. Same planning season, very different conversations. Coast is balancing surplus. Valley is locking in tougher decisions. Here's the thing. The Kern County Water Agency Advisory Committee reviewed the feasibility study for Alternative 5 of the Cross Valley Canal. And it comes down to a real fork in the road. The Cross Valley Canal is a critical artery for moving water across Kern County, and it needs more capacity. 2 concepts are still in play. Option 1 is a parallel canal. You'd build a new channel alongside the existing one, which lets you keep roughly 500 cubic feet per second flowing the whole time. Construction is happening. Option 2 scored highest on the engineering side, a widened channel, but it would require shutting the Cross Valley Canal down for about 140 days. That's the trade-off. Build twice the structure and keep the water moving, or build cleaner inside the existing footprint and absorb a major operational outage. A final feasibility report lands by early July, and the so-called hyper-consolidated path is targeting a Principles of Agreement by September of 2026 and a construction window from August to December of 2027. Whichever direction Kern picks, it locks the design of one of the most important conveyance assets in the Southern Valley for a generation. Now, this one's interesting. Following up on prior Golden Mussel coverage, the response is shifting from emergency awareness into ongoing monthly operations across the connected canals. Quick refresher. The golden mussel is an invasive species that can clog intakes and conveyance infrastructure, and veligers are its microscopic larval stage. Friant Water Authority confirmed a positive veliger detection at Friant-Kern Canal milepost 134. Their plan is to do chemical treatment during the November dewatering period, That's the time of year when the canal is taken offline anyway. Meanwhile, Kern County Water Agency has consulting firm Dudek studying chlorine dioxide and sodium hypochlorite treatment options for the Cross Valley Canal, after running a 7-day manual cleaning. And the Kern County Water Agency Advisory Committee is coordinating joint funding requests with Friant, though staff noted Reclamation's invasive species budget is severely limited right now. Empathize with the operators for a second. Nobody designed these canals expecting an invasive mussel front. The agencies are improvising the playbook in real time, on a tight budget, across hundreds of miles of shared conveyance. They're working through it together, which is the right instinct. Moving into trends. With the next SGMA compliance window closing in, 3 basins are sketching very different versions of what triggers a pumping cut in 2027. Colusa Groundwater Authority said its demand management decision table, the actual logic that decides when pumping reductions fire, has to be ready by the start of 2027, and they want grower outreach completed before the August through October harvest window. Arroyo Seco GSA is going more data-driven on long-term recharge trends. Any 5% reduction at Arroyo Seco only fires if the basin consistently fails to rebound, not after a single bad year. And up at Vina GSA's advisory committee, the debate is whether current minimum thresholds, which sit roughly 80 feet below historical lows, are actually tight enough to protect domestic wells. 3 basins, 3 different philosophies of restraint: political, scientific, and well-protective. None of these is the wrong answer. They're all working the same problem from different angles. Here's a parallel storyline. Multiple basins are simultaneously hitting the public input phase of their 5-year SGMA plan periodic evaluations. Quick context: a GSP is a groundwater sustainability plan, the local plan every basin has to write under SGMA. And these 5-year periodic evaluations are the mandatory check-ins required by the state to see whether the plan is on track. Mound Basin GSA opened a 45-day public comment period on its draft evaluation back on June 23rd. Arroyo Seco is preparing summer public hearings to address the Department of Water Resources, DWR, corrective actions before its January 2027 SGMA plan submission. Vina continues its periodic evaluation work around expanded monitoring and the threshold debate I just mentioned. And Ojai Basin Groundwater Management Authority reviewed a 5-year evaluation from consulting firm Dudek, showing that all 7 constituents of concern came back generally stable basin-wide, a quietly positive result for a basin that's been monitoring carefully for years. So if you're a stakeholder in any of these basins, this is the window where your written comment actually shapes the next plan cycle. The door's open, but it doesn't stay open long. Last trend: Kern is putting real, dedicated capital money behind aging conveyance, and not just one-off. Kern County Water Agency adopted a revised Improvement District No. 4 financial plan, Resolution 32-26, its first full revision in roughly 10 years. The structure creates a dedicated capital improvement project fund projected to generate around $4 million in the next fiscal year, aimed squarely at the 50-year-old Henry C. Garnett water purification plant and the Cross Valley Canal. It works through annual purveyor fees, plus fixed CPI-based rate caps on treated water, groundwater, and capital improvement charges, meaning the rate ceilings are predictable, but the dollars start showing up every year, not just when a crisis forces a board vote. And the advisory committee is moving in parallel. They just approved a $400,000 AECOM design contract to modernize the Cross Valley Canal's SCADA control system. That's the digital control layer that operators actually use to move water. So the funding structure, the feasibility study, and the design contracts are all moving at once. After a decade of patching, this is Kern locking in a real funding mechanism for a real refresh of 50-year-old infrastructure. Worth watching how other regions take notes, because Kern is essentially writing the playbook for how to fund a multi-decade conveyance refresh without a single megabond. That's your SGMA Weekly. If you want the full details on every board meeting we covered, head to water1.ai. You can read the complete recaps, and if you want to dig deeper, try ChatGSA. Just ask it anything about your district, and it'll pull up the answers from the latest meetings. I'm your AI host. Stay informed, and I'll see you next week.